Picture this. You land at an airport somewhere in the Midwest, you are exhausted, it is 2 in the morning, and the only thing open is a gas station. You walk in hoping for something, anything decent to eat. And what do you find? A rotating hot dog that has been spinning since last Tuesday, a bag of chips, and a sad triangle sandwich wrapped in plastic that expired yesterday. Now compare that to stepping into a convenience store in Tokyo at the same hour. Fresh rice balls made that morning, hot ramen, steamed buns, a full wall of drinks, ATM access, bill payments, and a staff member who actually greets you with genuine energy. Same concept on paper. Completely different universe in reality. And most people who talk about this completely miss the real reason why. Let us start with the first thing almost everyone gets wrong. People assume Japanese convenience stores are better because of some vague idea about national pride or attention to detail. That is too simple. The real answer comes down to who these stores are actually built to serve. In the United States, gas station convenience stores were designed around a very specific customer, someone in a car, in a hurry, buying fuel, grabbing something quick, and leaving. The store is an afterthought. The gas is the product. In contrast, stores like 7-Eleven Japan, Lawson, and Family Mart were built from the beginning to serve people who do not own cars, people living in small apartments without full kitchens, elderly residents, night shift workers, students on tight budgets. The store itself is the destination. That single difference in design philosophy changes everything that follows. Now here is where it gets interesting for anyone thinking about money and class. Japanese convenience stores are one of the few retail spaces in the world that genuinely serve every income level without making lower-income customers feel invisible. A construction worker finishing a night shift can walk in and get a hot meal for under $3. A businessman in a suit can grab a premium bento box and a quality coffee. A retired person on a fixed income can pay their electricity bill, withdraw cash, and pick up medication all in the same visit. The store does not sort people by wealth at the door. That is not an accident. That is a deliberate business model built around density and volume. Serving everyone means more transactions per square foot, which means higher profitability without raising prices to chase only wealthy customers. Compare that to the American model where convenience stores in wealthier neighborhoods look completely different from those in lower income areas. The quality gap is stark. In many lower-income American neighborhoods, the local gas station is the closest thing to a grocery store for miles. But the food options are poor, the prices are often higher than a supermarket, and the environment signals very clearly that the business does not expect much from its customers. Japanese convenience stores flip this logic. They compete on quality because quality drives repeat visits from everyone, rich, working class, and those counting every coin. Here is a specific example that makes this concrete. In Japan, convenience store onigiri, those rice balls you see everywhere, go through serious quality control. The seaweed is stored separately from the rice in a dual-layer packaging system specifically invented so the seaweed stays crispy until the moment you open it. This is not a small detail. This is an engineering solution applied to a food item that costs roughly $1. American gas station food has no equivalent investment in the eating experience at that price point. The gap is not about ingredients. It is about whether the company believes the customer deserves a good experience regardless of how much they are spending. The next misunderstood point is about labor. American convenience store workers are often seen as low-skill, low-value employees in a forgettable job. The training is minimal, turnover is extremely high, and the stores reflect that. In Japan, convenience store staff go through structured training programs. They learn food preparation standards, customer service protocols, and store operations in detail. This is not because the companies are generous. It is because the stores carry out so many functions: food service, financial services, government bill payments, package pickup, ticket sales, that an undertrained employee creates real operational problems. The job carries more responsibility, and the training reflects that. The result is a store that actually functions as infrastructure for daily life rather than a place you tolerate because nothing else is open. Let us talk about one more layer that most commentary skips entirely. Japanese convenience stores survive and thrive on a franchise model that demands extremely tight supply chain coordination. Fresh food is delivered multiple times per day. Items that do not sell get pulled and replaced. The inventory system is sophisticated enough that stores in different neighborhoods stock slightly different products based on local buying patterns. A store near a university stocks differently from one near a hospital. This level of responsiveness requires real investment in logistics and data. American gas station operators, many of whom are independent franchise holders working on thin margins, simply do not have access to that infrastructure. The gap you see on the shelf is actually a gap in the entire system behind the shelf. So what is the real lesson here? It is not that one country has better taste or higher standards as some kind of cultural personality trait. It is that when you design a retail space to genuinely serve all economic levels, when you treat the person spending $1 with the same seriousness as the person spending 20, you end up building something that works better for everyone. The rich customer gets a store worth visiting. The worker on a budget gets a meal worth eating. The person with very little money gets access to services that used to require a bank or a government office. That is not magic. That is a business decision made at the design stage. Now I want to hear from you. If you have been to both a Japanese convenience store and an American gas station, drop a comment below and tell me the single biggest difference you noticed. Was it the food, the service, the layout, or something else entirely? Let me know, I read every single one.